Hello my loves. In this video, we will discuss how anybody can follow time-limited food intake. It is a brilliant strategy and all the more critically, a free technique for weight reduction. I'll walk you through every step process where you can begin, how you can begin, and how you can speed up your weight reduction regardless of what stage you are. So it is a 5-step process. Just follow the simple and effective method, and I am 100% sure you can lose 20 to 30 pounds, which is absolutely amazing. It is such a simple, safe and an effective method. Why does this method work? Since we are taking our body to a state where being founded on our God's creation is unmistakably assumed. Let's get to the basics first. When you wake up in the morning, your insulin level gets high and reaches its peak around 1 to 3 p.m. and slows down after sunset. So, when you start feeding yourself along with the insulin cycle, and if you quit feeding after sunset, a lot of good things happen, including your weight reduction. So, insulin is like a box which is kept open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can only drop food only during this time frame. The food that was dropped after these hours are not digested well and gets deposited as fats, which in turn causes diabetes. So once insulin takes a break, goes to rest, the growth hormone starts to function and heals all the damages that you have done throughout the day, and insulin gets ready in the morning with a high energy to help your body. The biggest advantage of this process is that you really don't have to focus too much on the food content at first while you are setting up your food intake time frame. The outcome is going to be faster and better when you eat healthy food. But when unhealthy food is consumed, at least the hormones won't affect, as you are giving it time to rest and heal overnight, so they can be fresh and help you in the day. Even though the hormones was beaten to the maximum and help you during daytime, they act weird during night hours, which is fat and cholesterol. Now, who can follow this method? Anybody from 8 years to 60 years old can follow this method. If you observe, the time difference between sunset and sunrise is usually around 12 hours, which is a very least and sensible fasting window. It doesn't put an extra pressure on anybody, including pregnant women and children. There may be some kind of issues, only when you expand the fasting to more than 16 hours. This is a very basic and successful method if you can start with a 12-hour fasting window. Even patients with diabetes can follow this method secure and successfully under a checked setting. There is a popular confusion that your blood sugar levels will go down if you fast, which is absolutely not true. Because your body has all the balancing mechanisms, including glucose from the liver, to pitch in if absolutely needed. So I'm going to give you 5 simple steps to follow this fasting method. 1. You need to determine your eating window as soon as you wake up when you're having the first bite. Either it could be a coffee, tea, or it is a breakfast. You have to make a note of the time. Make a note of the time of your last bite just before going to bed. Then you have to figure out your last bite just before going to bed. So you need to calculate the difference. For example, when you sip your coffee or tea with milk or sugar in the morning at 8 a.m., that will be considered as your first bite. Let's say you have the habit of drinking milk before going to bed at 9 p.m., then that will be considered as your last bite for the day. The difference between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. is going to be close to 15 hours, and that is your eating window. Is it okay to have coffee? This is a very common question on everyone's mind. Ideally speaking, it has to be nothing other than water in order to effectively follow this method. Black coffee and green tea is good, but it cannot be with sugar, milk or cream or any other added ingredient. Even when you taste a tiny pea-size ingredient, it is more than enough to trigger the hormonal overflow because your hormones are so powerful. So the answer is ideally no. Step 2. You need to stick to a food intake window of minimum 12 hours. You need to decrease that to a minimum of 12 hours if your food intake window was 15 hours. Please note, you need to decrease your eating window and not your fasting window. Step 3. Consistency of the food intake window is the key. If you can do 12 hours of eating window every day for 30 days, that is far better than doing 8-hour eating window for 3 days. Step 4. This is the most important advantage of this process, is if you don't have to focus too much on the content of the food to start with. You will start noticing that you are losing weight at that point of time once it becomes a habit. You will get motivated to focus on the healthy portion of the eating window. So you can go overboard like this. You have to be a little bit reasonable, but you don't have to focus too much on the quality of the food initially until this becomes a habit. Step 5. The most important step, because this is where your patience will come to play. You need patience for this method to work out. Rome was not built in a day. Remember that our body is high maintenance. I can guarantee you that your belly fat will reduce based on the amount of effort you put in. The more effort you put in by reducing your food intake window. Some people might see results within 3 weeks. Some might take up to 3 months. The key thing is consistency, and I assure you this will work. So now, checking on the mental state for 2 to 3 weeks as you follow these 5 steps. Very sad and hopeless. You will feel dizzy. You will feel hungry. But hang in there, my loves. It is going to take some time. Your body is responding to this process. You should be absolutely believe that this method is going to work. Key thing is consistency. Bite the bullet, get the 6 weeks across, and once it becomes a habit, it is going to be super easy. The biggest tip is have a water bottle in handy. Take your water bottle wherever you go around your house. I guarantee that this method will work if you follow this daily for 5 months without breaking the cycle. Thanks for watching my video. Please like, comment and